Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches, episode 174. Tonight we're reviewing Darkest Hour.
Terrible title.
Really bad. I was waiting for him in like a speech because they make so much
and this
to do.
Is our darkest hour.
In this our darkest hour.
Yeah.
We
must come together.
Nope, he never said it.
He might have.
And we just didn't understand it. Because that happened a few times.
This is the latest Joe Wright movie.
Yeah.
So I was excited. I like Joe Wright. He's either hit or miss.
Yeah.
For me, you know, I'm like Atonement. Yes. The Soloist. Not so much, you know.
I liked The Soloist.
You did?
I think.
Do you remember what that movie's about?
I liked The Pianist.
Yep, you did.
Isn't The Soloist the one with like Daniel Day-Lewis or someone who's like living on the street corner and like plays the violin? Jamie Foxx.
And Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
And it's all like the Skid Row. And he's putting deer urine on his tree to get rid of the coyotes. There was some whole thing.
I don't think I actually saw that movie.
I loved Hannah. And I love Pride and Prejudice.
He did Hannah. Yeah. I loved Hannah.
Gorgeous.
And I love Pride and Prejudice, which was gorgeous. But then didn't he also do Dr. Zhivago or whatever with Anna Karenina?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, this is...
So it's hit or miss.
Hit or miss. I would say this breaks the mold of hit or miss. Because it wasn't really one way or another for me.
No. It was quite dreary.
Yes.
Which is the point. You know, obviously it's not going to be this lush, extravagant, gorgeously colored, like, you know, story about Winston Churchill. But it was even real bleak, like, in the palace.
Yeah.
You know, like, everything was dark. Shadowy.
Yeah.
Lots of harsh, shadowy. Yeah. It was like a
light beaming
noir.
Through a window.
Weird lighting.
But to the point, too, where I noticed it, and I noticed myself thinking, but, like, he just said that there wasn't a cloudy day.
Well, in France.
I guess that's fair.
In Dunkirk, there was not a cloudy day. It was bright and sunshiny in Dunkirk.
In Calais, why not? Yeah,
but like even in like a movie like Dunkirk, which is very bleak and sad and all of these things, it was still had some color and
it still exists in a world in which we live.
Yeah.
This felt like it was like
this felt like a Clint Eastwood movie.
Or like some dystopian like 1984 future, you know, where it was like
too dark. I found myself distracted by that as well.
Yeah.
I kept wavering. I got kind of bored. I was like, well, I don't really care.
Well, so...
I guess. And then I'd be like, oh, okay, now I kind of do. I don't know. I was like, yeah.
First things first, shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink, trywink.com/moviebitches, and you get $20 off your first month of wine.
We should be drinking whiskey and ham and eggs.
Oh my god, we really should. Well, there were a lot of things I liked about
There was a lot of things I liked.
Okay, so...
Namely, Gary Oldman.
Yes. We start off with him becoming Prime Minister.
Right, basically, yeah.
I almost wish it took a wider selection of scope.
It was my same problem-ish with Steve Jobs, where it's like, the movie. Not the person. Where it's like, why this pinhole view of it?
Right.
There was not a flashback.
I guess it was him becoming a leader, you could say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not a bad film, but like, I get what they're doing.
Yeah, it was very similar to Iron Lady. Which I also was like, yeah.
That's what it seemed like.
Sure.
Great acting.
You know, yeah. That's good.
I think I preferred, it reminded me in some ways, obviously, just because of the King's Speech.
Which was, gorgeous to look at.
It really was.
Oh
that's what you would expect from Joe Wright.
Oh my god. I would have thought it would have been more gorgeous. Just look at that couch.
You drink that whiskey and smoke that cigar in this fabulous setting and then have, a one-shot where we pan over to you.
There wasn't really a wonder, was there?
Not that I noticed, at least.
Right, there wasn't a... Well, because I was thinking about it in Atonement, the oneer is at Dunkirk. I forgot. Like the beach with the horses and the da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And I had kind of forgotten, that was Dunkirk too. Dunkirk is in the news.
I was going to say Dunkirk is the hot topic.
Hot topic. But anyway, Gary Oldman. I wanted to say this movie because I love Gary Oldman. He was fantastic.
He was really fantastic.
He transformed.
Yeah. Oh my god. If I didn't know it was Gary Oldman and you had just said, who is this man? I would have said, I don't know, looks like Winston Churchill.
Is it some nobody they got who happened to look like Winston Churchill? Like, the makeup was flawless.
Flawless.
Not his eyes, because usually that's the problem, is that right around the eyes you go, it looks weird, or I can't see him emoting through the makeup, it was like, no, this is fabulous.
Fabulous. And the wigs, like, there was that shot of the bright sunlight coming through the window, and you just see his, like, thinning, grayed hairs, and you're just like, I was just like, this looks like
the fuck out over
real,
the makeup.
like, really great.
It was so good.
Like, they need to definitely get nominated. Like, that's, if he doesn't win, then that's some nonsense. And if they don't win for his makeup.
I know. I'm like, I think it's Gary's year. Finally, I'm so excited for him. I feel like it's for the Academy voters, it's Oscar.
Oh, this is
catnip.
Yeah.
Just World War II. Detailed World War II drama.
Complete transformation.
Winston Churchill. Oh, historically accurate. Oh my god. So yeah, I thought Gary Oldman was the reason to see this movie.
Definitely.
And Kristin Scott Thomas, who was not in enough of this movie.
No.
I kept waiting, because she was, every time she showed up.
It almost seemed like they cut some stuff.
It seemed like they cut a lot of her scenes. And yet this movie's way too long.
Way too long. The pacing was weird. Because I think, going back and what we were talking about, I kind of don't mind that it was the narrow scope. Like, I like the idea now that I think about it, that it was him literally becoming a leader. By the end of it, he's like, no, fuck you guys, I was right. There's no way we should ever try and form
no more
peace.
Appeasement, like, we need to
say fuck you and rouse the crowds.
Well, every time Kristin Scott Thomas showed up, I was like, oh, you're fabulous. Yeah. Like, you're breathing life into this. Life. Oh, I love you. Oh, you're gonna have a fabulous photo shoot that has nothing to do with anything. It seems like extra footage in your uniform.
And was never explained.
Never explained.
I do have a question about her photo shoot. I mean, I have a lot of questions about her photo shoot. Her like uniform said St. John on it.
So maybe she's like a nurse?
Well,
or something.
I didn't know if it was that, or is it like St. John the designer?
Oh, maybe both. Maybe he was doing nurse.
Like, it was like, oh, specially made for her.
She's gonna have this designer nurse outfit. I mean, I hope so.
I don't know.
It was such a throwaway, and yet I was the most excited I got.
Right? I was like, ooh, what's this happening?
Like, cool.
She looks
He's
fabulous.
giving another speech. It's great, but what's happening here? Yeah, we didn't get any bulldogs. Wasn't that his whole thing?
I thought so.
A lot of bulldogs?
And there were no dogs, no.
No dogs.
Except for he fed that one dog.
Sure, the corgi.
Yeah, which bothered me.
Because it's someone else's dog, and you really shouldn't be feeding table scraps to someone else's dog.
Exactly.
Particularly the king. I found that disconcerting as well. I was like, what are you doing, man?
Right?
Is this a power move? I bet it is. Can we talk about Lily James, secretary girl?
Oh, yeah, I liked her.
So she's Cinderella. She was good. I thought her character was unnecessary. Pretty much.
Well, okay, I will say this.
Pretty much. Like, there was a few here and there.
I was waiting for, like, the moment. They have, like, this whole scene
the point of her?
Yeah, a little bit. They would have this whole scene where, like, he brings her into the map room, and it was like, women aren't allowed in the map room. He's like, well, you are now. And he, like, brings her into the map room, and they're talking about, like, you know, Calais and Dunkirk and what are we going to do, and this is the problem, and all of these men are going to die, including your brother.
Were you waiting for the moment for her to be like, you should do this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the point of why she was here?
That wasn't true. No, that didn't happen.
Like, if her character was removed from the movie, he would the only thing she affected was him doing fuck you versus victory sign.
Right.
What does it mean?
Up your bum. So.
Up your bum.
Sure.
That was pretty much it. She wasn't really helping him write his speeches.
No, aside from physically typing
them. She didn't, like, give him advice
or
about
inspiration.
Things. Spend more time with Kristin Scott Thomas.
Right.
I don't give a fuck about this.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Ben Mendelsohn? Who's the king?
Yes.
I'm finally remembering his name, which is a good sign. He's the guy from Slow West with the coat, with the Macklemore coat.
I thought that was Michael Fassbender.
No, the bad guy with the coat. Like, the kind of, like...
Oh, I don't really remember.
He's in that.
Cool.
I'm growing to like him more and more.
He was good. I mean, there wasn't a lot...
Again, he didn't really need to be in the movie.
Well,
like,
then no one would be in the movie. Then it'd be even more boring.
But,
I was going to say...
What I'm saying is that the movie was... the characters the movie was presenting to me, it was like, Well, that didn't really matter. Not really.
Well, I guess.
I mean, the king was more important, but obviously
pretty important.
I felt like
he was pretty important.
I felt like the movie needed to decide what it was trying to tell me. Is it a story about Winston Churchill and his longtime secretary, like,
no,
you know, and him finding himself as a leader? Is it about the king and him bridging a gap and finding how they can work together to defeat the Nazis? It's not really about that. Is it about a long-suffering political wife and how she's going to support him through the war?
It's a little about all of those, though.
It was, but that's what made it kind of boring.
A little bit, because it was a little here, a little there. To be honest, it was all just kind of very British.
It was very, like, subsumed.
Yeah, it's like,
or a word like that.
Subsumed, or a word like that. Sub something or other. You know, just sort of folded in.
Yeah.
What is it, Sebastian? I'm arranging matches. It was very, you know, there wasn't a lot going on.
No. It was kind of like a weird mind fuck in some ways, in that I'm more for diplomacy and like peace talks and whatever, right? But the whole point of this was that it was like, no, we gotta stand up and fight and war and never. We have a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about. Had they shown more of like people dying, fighting, you know, Nazis being. Had we known more what they know, like, because like it seemed like Churchill was the only one who was like, this guy's fucking psycho. We need to fucking kill Hitler, guys. Like, he's psycho, you know, and everyone else was like, well, I mean, come on, and that's how it was. But I feel like I needed to know the facts.
Yeah.
Or something.
Or to see more. The battle stuff was not my favorite. The CG, Warfield.
It was like 30 seconds, but sure. Oh, it's dirt. It's a cheek. What? It's a face. Oh my god, it's someone's eyeball.
Yeah, what was that?
I mean,
that was really weird.
I didn't hate it, because I was like, oh, I'm surprised by this. But I was also like, why?
Was it a dead person?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was panning across like a dark, you know, dirt pile, and then all of a sudden you were like, that doesn't quite look like a dirt pile, and then you went, oh, it's someone's cheek, and there's a reflecting eye and a plane going through anyway.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It's Joe Wright, you know.
Sure.
He does, even though this was very like toned down for him, he does, you know, like his shots of like, oh, look at this, look at this. And, you know, I usually like it because I'm like, oh, you're trying something, you're doing a bit, and I like it. Remember that whole thing? This was maybe one of my favorite scenes, the whole thing where he's in the bathroom talking on the phone to Roosevelt.
Oh, yes.
Well, that was funny too. When he's like, I can only deal with one shit at a time.
Yeah.
Like,
stupid.
That's silly. No, he's talking to Franklin Roosevelt on the phone, and there's this whole thing about his hands are tied.
Yes.
You can't give him any
the ships, but we bought the ships with the money that you lent us.
No, the airplanes. He can't give him any ships because of this diplomacy of whatever, and well, we bought these B-52s from you, but we can't give them to you because this new thing about trade laws.
Right.
So, you know, we could put them a mile away from the Canadian border, and if you want, you can get some horses, you can drag them across and then fly them out. How's that work for you? And I was just like, this is nonsense. I'm sure it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
You know, and it's craziness. I was waiting.
Did that happen? I wanted to see it. I'm sure. I wanted to see it.
Oh, well, like, did they drag them across? Yeah. That I don't know, but I'm sure that conversation happened.
And, like, what was the timing of that? And, like, the importance, right? Were those planes used just in general, or were those, like, used for Dunkirk? I was confused.
Right.
The whole timeline of a lot of this was confusing, and, like, just in the sense that, like, Dunkirk, I was like, wait a second. They've been talking about Dunkirk for a while now, but, like, he was like, they have a day left, and I feel like it's been a few days.
Well, because then they didn't give you the conclusion of it until the end of the movie, where they're like, 300,000 soldiers were saved by the civilian flight, or whatever.
Right.
And I knew that because I had just seen Dunkirk.
Sure.
But it was sort of
the trailer for Dunkirk.
It was sort of like, how much time has passed? I feel like you guys should be like really on the clock.
Really rushed, right?
Run,
I was like, they're gonna
run around.
That was the other thing. It felt like was that there was no one doing anything. It felt like a bunch of rich old British men just like sitting around postulating about like what is war, what is life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's what happened.
I guess a little bit.
But at some point in the movie, someone says like, "You wouldn't know the war was on at all," and I'm like, "Yeah. I wouldn't."
No.
I feel like I should.
Right? They are at war. So I think it's time that we talk
about the train.
About
the tube.
The underground.
The underground, the best scene.
It wasn't the best scene. I feel like it was I almost honestly felt like after this point...
It was a different movie.
Yeah, it was like, and now this is a different movie for the rest of this movie.
But I was like excited because something was happening.
Sure. Was it?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, I mean, or was it just him being weird?
It wasn't old white rich men talking in a room, postulating about...
The people had their voices heard.
Something was like,
Sure. Well, at least he was holding the courage of his convictions at this point.
Yeah. I don't know, it was silly.
The king suggests that he talks to the people.
Yeah.
And he's in this car and he's like, what am I doing?
Well, because the whole beginning of the movie is him saying, I've never been on
right.
a bus. I've never been on the underground. I've never done this.
That was a little heavy-handed.
Well, based on where it ended up going, yes, it was.
I mean, he said it, and I was like, why is he telling us all of this? This seems
later
really
on.
strange.
See, I thought when he gets out of the car and he goes down into the underground, and I thought, he's gonna get the idea that that's gonna be the bomb shelter for everybody when the blitz is happening.
Right.
That I was like, and he's like, and this will save us. I thought it didn't. I thought that would have been a good idea.
Sure.
Maybe that's not how it happened. So he gets on the train, and everyone's sort of freaking out, and then he just starts to talk to everyone, and they all introduce themselves.
Full names.
Everyone's real caricature-y.
Yeah.
And then...
I loved that last one.
Oh, yeah.
She really did the most with her 3 seconds.
Oh, yes. And I'm Alice Dowd. And you're like... Okay, I'm Mrs. Jessie Sutton, and this is my kid, and you're like, ah!
If the worst came to pass, will you give up?
Never!
Never! This little
like,
girl is like, never!
Never!
You're just like, okay, we get it, never.
They all convince him that they should go to war, and that they'll fight to the bloody end, and, all of these things.
Until we're choking on our own blood.
Well, that was at the very end.
That was blood.
Never!
Never! It was like a lot of nevers. All within, because then he goes to like the MPs.
Parliament?
Yeah, the parliament. And is like gives a rousing speech of like,
Yeah.
Because
we'll fight in the beaches.
I was talking to these people and they were saying.
We'll fight in the mountains.
Yeah, oh my god.
We'll fight on the sea.
We'll fight everywhere. God damn it.
We shall never surrender!
I was like, okay, we get it. You really like your palace.
That was the most exciting.
It was the most exciting.
Because everything else was sort of like, maybe if we, no, I don't know, I'm gonna quit, like it was just a lot of stop-starting. Yeah. And then that at least was like, yes! Parliament always makes me laugh. Because they're always just like, they just yell about things and wave
their little
kerchiefs around, it was fun.
We had that last scene. That was very Joe Wright. The last shot is him
slow motion
just dropping the
kerchiefs,
mic and
him walking through it.
Raining white kerchiefs in this black room of suits.
Old white men and old white men and old white men.
Not a pop of color to be found.
It's really a pop of color.
One does want a hint of color.
I liked the speech where the king said, you scare the shit out of Hitler, basically. We need you. We need someone that's going to scare him. You're the worst thing that could have ever happened to him. And I was like, yeah. So I feel like, in the current political situation, it was a rough movie to watch.
It wasn't. Well, so that's what I was saying. Like, it was interesting to, like, be on the side of, like, the war makers, which is typically not where I am.
Well, just this whole, like, let's just appease it until it's like, let's just,
cowardice.
What makes a real leader? There's a lot of, like, questions raised.
Yes. I will say it was refreshing to have some, like, gentlemen in politics. It was like, oh.
No, they were all terrible, too.
I'm sure they were really awful scoundrel men.
So, you could watch it.
If you like World War II movies.
And if you like history, if you're obsessed with Gary Oldman, like, it's certainly not bad.
It's definitely watchable.
It was kind of boring.
A little bit.
But Gary Oldman is fantastic. Yeah. And the makeup was amazing. And there was, like, moments that were fun.
Yeah.
Not that it has to be fun, but there was moments that were, like, engaging and like, I didn't know about that.
Or, like, chuckly or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you could certainly take your parents to go see it.
I feel like Grandpa would love it.
Right.
I wish it had been a little more inspirational.
Sure.
Or something.
Yeah.
It was very British.
Yes.
That is the best way to describe it. So, cheers to Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Good luck. Fuck yeah.
And to Winston Churchill. Thanks for saving the world.
You get it, Winston Churchill.